Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Grow with Joe podcast. This is a space where we have conversations on spirituality, purpose, leadership, business, and technology. My name is Chukwumati Joseph, and I'm very delighted to be your host today. So, every artist has their own unique story. For some artists, their stories are written in joy. Some artists, their stories are written in pain. But the most transformational stories are the ones that are written through change. The most powerful stories are the ones that are written through transformation, which is when you have an experience and you decide to go from pain to joy, or from joy to pain. So I think the most transformational stories are the ones that are written through experience. And today I'm seated with an artist who has successfully turned heartbreak into harmony. She's turned healing into an art, and most importantly, she has turned pain into purpose. She's the Afro-Fusion artist behind the album Find Me. I'm really excited to have you today. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, at some point while I was preparing for this, I thought this would not happen because you celebrities, you're so difficult to reach. But here you are in the studio with me. I'm so excited to have you. Yeah. So I want to encourage you to stay tuned to the end, because this episode isn't just about music. It's about rediscovering yourself when life tries to break you. So let's dive right into the conversation. Can you take us back to the beginning? Tell us about you. What's your name? Where were you born? Where did you school? And how was growing up as a young girl? How was it growing? How was it like growing up?
Oh, okay. Growing up as a young girl was unique because I grew up with like my two brothers. Yeah, and I grew up in a pastor's home. Like,
Wow.
yeah, my parents they were pastors. So yeah, joined choir. That's how like for music started. One day, my mom gave a sermon, about you have to find your purpose, and that was when I was 15. I was sitting there like wondering like what is my purpose? Because before then, I used to like write songs. Because it was a CSC church, so and CSC they do it a lot of percussions. So most times when he's preaching, like when my dad is preaching, I'll be writing like like song, and if you see me, you say, "Well, you're not listening." But after the Bible study, I I wanted to like find out like what really is my like purpose, and as at the time it was music I could point to because that was one thing that I loved, and that was one thing that was the only thing I could really do because that's freely without holding back. I just automatically I just have words to write and express. So yeah, that's how I started. Look for studios around, and yeah, that's
Wow.
how the journey started. But I couldn't so I got a record deal when I got into university, but I could not take the deal because they told me that I should choose school or music. So obviously, I spoke to my mom and she was like, no, if I should finish school, and if I finish school, I have the rest of my life to do music. And that was what happened. So I finished school in 2023, 2022. Yes, I finished school in 2022. Yeah, then that's when I moved to Lagos. I did my NYC. So during my NYC, that's when I released my first official record. That was
Wow.
in 2023.
Okay.
Yes, that's how I started
Wow.
professionally.
Wow. So you've taken us back to how growing up as a child, as a young girl was for you. But you've yet to tell us your name for our
Oh,
guests. Your name, where were you born?
oh my God, sorry. My name is PEB. That's an abbreviation of my full name, Precious Igebo Blossom. I was born in Port Harcourt,
Okay.
yes, but we moved to Benin when I was like 2. Then from there, I stayed in Benin for a while before like we relocated to Lagos when I was like in primary school,
Wow.
like 8 or 9.
Okay, so are you from Port Harcourt or Benin?
I'm from Edo State.
Oh,
It's
wow.
actually Delta Igbo, but because we're at the boundary, so it's Edo that we're claiming. Like,
Okay, so which means you can claim two identity, but yeah.
Nigeria, Nigeria, we're always Nigeria.
Okay, wow.
But
Thank you
yeah.
so much for that answer. So
Yeah.
before we move ahead into this conversation, this question is for your fans, your secret admirers. I want you to confirm for us. Are you single? Are you married, or are you searching?
I'm very single, but I'm not searching.
Wow.
Yes.
So nobody should shoot their shot.
For now, no.
Okay. You have heard that Pep is single and very single. Searching is out of the list. So just keep admiring until otherwise. What was the earliest memory of you realizing your voice had power? When did you realize your voice, have power?
Honestly, I'm not going to say I've like figured it out.
Okay.
That's but I would say with this album, I saw a different perspective because it was a bold move, like putting out an album because everybody will tell you like you have to build to a certain level to be able to put an album out.
Yeah.
But it was a push. Most of the songs we even put them out before we were ready. Most of the songs that we've recorded before, like when I just moved into Lagos, we did a camp. So most of the songs from there, that was what we just merged, and somehow everything was saying the same thing.
Wow.
So the album really like gave me that realization that okay, there's something going on here, but it's a journey, and I feel like there's more, but I'm still uncovering and unwinding. That's why it's finding it basically.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow. So you're still on the journey of discovery yourself. You're yet to figure everything out.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of Nigerians will relate with that because sometimes we look as though we have everything figured out, but deep down we are still searching for an answer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because there's a process before like one can have the promise. Most of the time we just see the promise and we don't see the process. So for me, my journey is more about the process for me, and that's why I really am putting my all into my journey because it's reflecting the process of getting to the promise. And the point is not about the promise, is who I become in the
Yes.
process
Yeah.
that would have the promise. So
Yeah.
let me not preach.
Before we turn it to sermon,
Exactly.
the truth is that on the journey to success,
Mm,
it's not the destination that matters. It is who you become as you're
in the
getting there.
process,
So it's
yes.
not a matter of where do I want to get to, but a matter of who am I becoming every single day as I get there.
Yes.
Yeah. So do you believe purpose finds you, or do you have to go looking for it?
Hmm. I believe you have to find it. Like you have to go looking for it. Yes. You have to go looking for it because there's something that's put in all of us. We have to take that time to find it because there are a lot of distractions, and because of those distractions, we barely have time to really lock in to really discover what is it. And the thing is, you can't really figure it out at the end of the day. Is on the journey because purpose is the meaning you have about something, like the meaning about like the meaning behind what you're doing. So first of all, you have to even understand who you are before you can even find purpose or that way, because you find the meaning of what you are doing when when you become, or let me put it that way, like, so purpose, you go finding it because it's a journey. On the journey you find meaning. That's why you see that you can be doing something, just like earlier, like when we had conversations, like you can be doing something, and on the path you now have a meaning, like you find a meaning about the journey.
Yeah.
It might not always start beautifully. So the same thing, what I'm saying is because of my album, it didn't even start like as finding me. It was about love. If you listen to it, it's about waiting for that one person. So
Yes.
me getting to this point now saying I don't want love, there's a reason.
Yeah.
So I found meaning in the album, like, and that meaning is, in order to find the right partner, you have to be the right partner.
Wow.
You can't, how do I put it? Like, you have to become, like, you have to be the right partner to find the right partner. Otherwise, it will still keep being a cycle. So that's how it led me to self discovery. I was thinking for love, but I discovered that, oh, I have to find myself so that the right partner can find me.
Wow.
So, yeah.
That's a very deep insight you shared with us because purpose is very deep. Purpose is very strong. The moment you find it, nothing else in the world matters.
Mhm.
So, and I think for me, if I were to be asked that question, I would give the same answer. You have to go looking for purpose because first and foremost, there's something that is put into every one of us. But just like gold, just like you have to go and refine gold from the mountain,
Mm-hmm.
that's the same way you have to go after purpose. It is
Yeah.
there for you, but you have to refine it. And I don't think you actually get to a point where you say you've refined it completely. Until you leave the earth, you still keep refining. So you can actually get to a point where, you know, you are doing something and you feel like this is the best I can do it, but then you can still do better. So
Mm.
purpose is something that you can constantly keep refining. So you have to keep going after it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your first single, Crazy, is very raw and honest, and you described it as something that is being inspired by heartbreak, by someone who left you when you loved deeply. So what did that experience teach you about love and self-worth?
Mm. Choose who choose you. But like just like choose who choose you, because
But then how will you know who chose you?
when you
Because
become
it's easy. Okay.
when you become
When you become.
yes. Because why becoming is so important is you get to understand like your values. You get to understand what you stand for. Why I could be heartbroken was because I didn't know what I would like. I didn't have standards. I didn't know what I cannot take or what I would take. So because of that, I had relationships that maybe I would say I was, let me not even say taking advantage of, because I really didn't know who I am or my values. Because that way, when you start identifying like who you are, you'll be able to separate. You just be able to separate, like you know the one that is coming to waste your time, you know the one that is not serious, you know the one that is just talking. Like it
Yes.
just becomes very clear because you now have a standard that you bring yourself into. So Crazy was that one song that I was, as at then I've not even started this becoming journey. Crazy was just more of an expression of I was crazy for
Wow, you're
about the guy
crazy
that
in
left me
love.
for no reason. Like
Okay.
yes, but I didn't want it. I wanted it to be my heartbreak song that people would dance to. So that's why it's an up tempo song. Because normally, if you hear heartbreak song, you might think it will be slow and all. But me, I just didn't want to even like make it a slow
You
song.
wanted it to be like something you're celebrating.
Yes, in a way, yes, because my love was real. It just was the wrong person. I think
Wow.
I would.
What would you say to someone who feels like their pain has no purpose right now?
You can turn it into purpose, and it's by accepting it because it won't go. Like pain doesn't go, but from acceptance, you begin a journey, a process. Because from acceptance, you now know why it's even paining you. If you know why it's paining you, then you now start changing. You start working. You start doing the work so that you can, you know, evolve. So yeah. So I would say accept your pain and continue to just accept it and continue on the process, on the journey. You start finding meaning, which will give you purpose. Like the moment you accept it, running from it is not the answer. It's acceptance. So
So you hear that if you are going through a painful experience right now, running from it is not the answer. The first step is to accept it and then to move ahead with it. So your album Find Me, is more than a collection of songs. It feels like a diary, a journey of a discovery. So first off, why did you choose the name Find Me? Who or what were you hoping to find?
I wanted him to find me because
Well,
after my last like relationship, I was like, "Ah, God, why I no go find? I'm a lover girl. I'm a lover girl because it's my nature to love, right? But I'm like, there has to be somebody that can also give me the kind of love that I want. So I want you to find me. So that was the original like idea. We actually put out a single. There's a single, Find Me.
well,
Yes.
I don't think or you've not
Yes, it's
released
there.
it.
It's on the album. So
Okay,
that was the next single after Crazy. Then
okay,
because of that single, it was while we were promoting that album, that was what made me realize that oh, it's not even about like finding for the partner to find me, it's me becoming the partner. So that's what now made me write like 13
okay.
songs about finding me.
Wow.
So
I was actually going to ask you, how did creating this album now help you love yourself again? But I think you've answered that in the process of, trying to now ask for yourself to be found. You discover that it's actually more important for you to find yourself first, for
yeah.
you to become the person you want first before you then start talking of, finding the right person.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you so much. So do you believe that sometimes we have to lose ourselves in order to truly find who we are?
Hmm. Yes, I believe. Because if the reason we're uptight is because there's a we are trying to protect something. We're building up walls. Because I used to be like that kind of person. Like I used to be serious, and that was just because of the many experiences. But I have to like drop those walls down, because in dropping those walls, like you'll be able to connect with who you are, because putting up walls, you cannot see who you are. Like that's how I put it, because putting up walls is inside you.
Yeah. I definitely relate with that. You know, um, sometimes you have to lose yourself in order to find yourself, and I
Mm-hmm.
am a living example. What I'm doing right now is a result of losing myself. You know, just as I earlier told you, there's a lot of heartbreak that made me decide, okay, I need to actually go out into the world and vent these emotions, vent this
Yeah,
pressure that is building up, and as a result of that, I began to find myself.
yeah.
In bringing myself out into the world, I began to gradually find, and I'm still on that journey of
Mm-hmm.
discovering myself.
Yeah.
So the theme of this conversation is turning pain into purpose, and that is something that a lot of people can relate to. You turned heartbreak into a career, you turned tears into lyrics, and sadness into sounds. So what role did faith or spirituality play in your healing process?
Oh, it was the foundation, is the essence of my being. Because when we were first spirit beings before we're like flesh or like physical,
Yeah.
so it's very important. Like, and I always say, to find your identity, you have to go back to the one who created you, the creator of the creators. Because first off, he formed us, right? And in forming us, there's something he placed in us that is for a purpose or for a reason. So going back to him would it will remind you of who you are. He's the only one that won't judge you. With all the pain and everything, he's the only one that won't judge you.
Yes.
So faith was very important, because that was like the foundation for me. Like I got time to, like read the word again. Even this was not even about growing up in pastor's home. Like it's not about, there's something that you come to find on your own. Like it's not, you can grow up in a pastor's home and all and still not see the light.
Yes.
So that journey, that pain, it took me to God, the tears and everything. And I was able to identify, okay, 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 stop like this, and it's still a process, you know. But yeah.
Wow. So even though you already had that foundation of spirituality, going through the pain actually now made you go deeper, in
Yeah.
your relationship with God.
Yes.
Wow. That's very beautiful. I can relate with what you said. Growing up in a pastor's home doesn't necessarily mean that you become a holier than thou person, because I have a
Yes.
cousin who grew up in the most holier than thou environment you can imagine. And today, I would I wouldn't say she's lost, but she's semi-lost. She's almost lost. She's uncontrollable. Nobody can advise her or tell her what to do. So it's
Mm.
just they just kind of, okay, since you want to live your life, just live your life the way you want. So it's not a matter of growing up in a holy environment. It's a matter of your personal conviction.
Mm-hmm.
And for you, that conviction came about from your pain,
Yeah.
which is a really beautiful thing.
Yeah. Because like, that's why like the Bible teaches that we have to be born again. We've been birthed first, but we have to be born again, because now this new birth is going to be the spiritual birth, and that's that reconciliation with the Father. So He's the one that, when you're not born again, you have like the Father to lead you. So somebody can grow up in a like pastor's home, but you have to be born again. It's not even about like when you come to declare Christ as your Savior. That point must happen. It's not automatic. That, oh, because, oh, you're in a Christian family. You have to come to know him, understand him, then now declare his lordship, like rebirth.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Becomes a personal decision.
yes, and that's what opens doors to start. You now start seeing yourself, like the nature, how like he lives. How you should show up in the world, like.
The way you sound, you sound like someone who has a very, very deep relationship with God, very
Yes,
emotional
so
relationship with God.
yes,
Wow, that is very good. I hope our audience can actually pick that up.
I hope.
The importance of having a very good relationship with your father, because at the end of it all, he's all that matters.
Mm-hmm.
He's the center. He should be the center of everything you do.
Yeah.
Don't put him at the side. Then come back to him when you need him. Put
Mm.
him at the center. Let everything you do revolve around
Around
him.
him, yeah.
Yeah. So what does purpose mean to you now? Than does it mean something different to you now from when you started?
Yeah, like I'm still uncovering it, but like for when I was like researching, trying to understand like what is purpose, that's where I came to that realization of like is the meaning you give a thing. So you can be doing something, but what's the meaning behind it? So now I'm now like finding light when it comes to purpose to understand that okay, it's not about meaning. It means like if I'm doing something, there has to be a meaning. Like why am I doing this thing? So because that's what leads to fulfillment when you are doing something because you know the meaning behind it. You know that, oh, let's say you're trying to you want to impact lives or you want to inspire people. So that's the meaning you are giving something, and because of that it's easy to you know to flow. That even as you're flowing, things will be, you now start seeing that there are more things that'll be fitting. It's
Yes.
just one thing you started with, but you'll be seeing things will be fitting in, things that you know, because it's flowing, like it's a process and a journey.
Yeah.
But and on that journey you'll be finding meaning every time,
Yeah,
every
just
time.
like a
So
river that started from, let's say from the mountain, the more it flows down, the more it begins to gain branches. So it's not really deviating from
it's
the
core.
major course, but it's just expanding.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Wow. So let's talk about your sound, Afro-Fusion.
yeah.
It's rhythmic, it's emotional, and it's layered with identity. Why did you choose Afro-Fusion?
Because it's a blend of Western sound and different African languages. Yeah, to make it like to have this nostalgia feeling and also soulful. So yeah, so and fusion is when you're fusing things together.
Yeah.
So what makes it Afro is the pidgin that I speak. I
Okay.
speak pidgin. Sometimes I put in like languages like
Yeah.
Ishan, because my mom is from Edo, like Ishan. So I put in those languages. That's what gives it that African feel. But the Western feel is the Western sounds that I add to it.
Yeah.
I have that vibrant. So that's what make it like
Afro-Fusion.
nostalgic and Afrofusion. Yes, like it feels.
Wow. Wow. Do you feel your music help others heal too?
I feel like for find me, because I think find me.
If I were to be asked that question, I would say yes because listening to your sounds,
Yeah.
your sounds, they sound like medicine. Like your music sounds like medicine. You can just sit down and just listen to it, and you'll feel a connection
Mm,
with God. Your sounds are so spiritual.
yeah. But the thing is, it's all about. I feel like for me, like find me started with integrity and acceptance. In a world that we live in now, most people they don't even want to acknowledge the fact or accept the fact that, oh, they are looking for love or they are waiting. I remember back in Lagos, most times they would tell me that like some people started thinking I'm even desperate for love because every time like love find when will you find me my love, like but it's not about that. It's about the boldness to accept, acknowledge the fact that it's my reality. Like I do want it. So I feel like maybe what I want my audience to get from it and what they get from it is different thing. And that's why, just like you said, spiritual, that's the essence of his presence. Like it's when you do anything and it's from your source, like it
Emanates.
reflects, yes, it reflects. But for me, is the integrity and acceptance of that, of being vulnerable, yes, of being vulnerable to just really express that I want him to find me. That was what started like the journey. And
Yeah, it's actually very important to do things with integrity because when you do things with a sense of integrity,
mm,
it might not show on the short term, but on the long term, it will actually reflect. But when
yeah,
you are doing things with a kind of from a place of deceit, it won't stand the test of time. Eventually, people will
yes,
begin to see through, like, oh, this when you are doing something that aligns with who you are,
mm,
that is portraying who you are, it
mm,
stands the test of time than when you
mm.
are saying something and what you are doing is
It doesn't
completely
reflect it,
different.
yes.
Yeah.
Because then people will be able to connect the journey. Because like now, by the grace of God, like the next project is going to be like really about this discovery, you know. But people will be able to connect the dots because it's real. They'll be able to see, oh, maybe this is it. She was thinking about this, then now she's thinking about this because it was a journey, and because it's the reality, being
Yeah.
vulnerable. So hopefully there'll be one day it will be love songs I'll be singing because I would have found love.
Yeah,
You get, so
yeah,
to
of
be real,
course.
like I don't find mine. Like it just but yeah.
Just like the river flowing down, it doesn't change its course, but it's expanding. So you have
Yes.
now accepted more realities.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah.
So how can young creators find their authentic voice in a world full of noise right now?
It's to be real, man. Like you just have to be real. You have to be real. You have to, and being real is all about knowing your truth and speaking your truth. If you, the way you, like, what's like re- reflects you, like what reflects your identity in terms of what you believe, like your truth, let it show in your voice. Like your voice is like what you use to, we can't say inside, but when you speak, it's from the fullness of who you are. So it has to be your truth. It's not the way the world wants it and all, because that way it will keep being a cycle. If everybody is speaking their truths, saying their truths, we'll have a very diverse, because everybody has different truths.
Yeah.
We all have different like truths because we're coming from different backgrounds. We have different stories. So those journey makes us like identify like or find our own truth. It leads us to make us like find our own truths. And when you find your truth and you're like vocal about it, or when you find your truth and you're expressive, yeah, that's the right word, and you're expressive, that way you just stand out. Because then you might now teach or say something that somebody has not heard before. They'll not be like, how did you discover this? Is from where this person is coming,
Yeah.
because it's your truth.
Wow.
So yeah.
I can totally relate to that. And the reason I say that is because when I was starting out with the idea of this podcast, my mentor, Mr. Tola, I listen to him every day. And sometimes I'll reach out to him and say, Sir, I love the way you speak. I just wish I can speak like you.
Mm.
And he actually helped me find authenticity because he told me I should not want to speak like him. I should not wish to speak like him. I should speak
Speak like
like
you.
Joseph. That's
Yeah.
what he said. He said nobody can speak like Joseph. Joseph is the only one that can speak like Joseph. So
Mm.
don't look at somebody and wish I could do this thing. You can admire, you can learn lessons, but don't try to copy somebody.
Yeah.
You have to
Present it.
be, yeah, you have to be authentic. And
Yes.
truly, I think that is the secret to finding your voice in a world filled with noise.
Yes.
If you look at content creators today, everyone has a different way of doing their things. If you look
Yes.
at someone like Brother Shaggy, nobody can be Brother Shaggy. When you
Yes.
look at someone like Pella, nobody can be Pella. When you
Yes.
look at, maybe Macaroni and the rest, nobody can do the things the way they do it.
Mm-hmm.
So the moment you are authentic, don't try to copy somebody. Don't try to, don't try to hide who you are.
Yeah.
You are trying to do things professionally,
Mm.
but then you are hiding your authenticity. So just
Mm-hmm.
bring out who you are. But for instance, myself, what I'm doing right now, I'm not too perfect. Sometimes I try to kind of rehearse what I would say in my head. I try to, sometimes I stammer when I speak, but that is my authenticity. I'm not trying to fake it. I'm not trying to pretend that, oh, I'm so good at what I do. For
Yes.
me, the most important thing is passing across the message,
Mm-hmm.
having stories, inspiring stories being shared and having the audience learning from it.
Mm.
So truly the secret to
Mm.
finding your authenticity, your
Mm.
voice, is to be authentic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you look back at your childhood, what was the fondest memory you have? When you look back, what would you say is the most amazing childhood memory you had?
Hmm. My childhood memories, well, they're not like so amazing because one, when my mom like lost my dad, I had to like just we're two, right? We're just two. The journey was different. We had to like move from one town, changing like we're changing locations, like here, there, and like there was no time to really like be that. There was no time to be that like childlike. There's even one, but there's one picture, child that I wish like there's one picture that that I have. That picture, I was squeezing in it. If I show you, we have a photo album. At least, thank God, we have a photo album. So that's where you see us, but like there's one that they baba my head abolo because I was a girl. Most times my brothers will be out playing, they will call me. Me, that want to go and, like I have other things, but because I'm like the only girl, so I'm the one that's always
At
doing
home.
everything. Yeah, so I never like had my own time,
Wow.
But and parents will make decisions for you.
Yes.
So most of the pictures, even that picture that the baba my head, so I was still I was not smiling. There was another picture, I was not smiling in that picture. And that picture, why I was not smiling is because of my younger brother. Let me tell you the story. So there was like a balloon like in the house,
Okay.
the house. So they did like a party or so. So there was a balloon that I went to look for. I looked for everywhere. I searched everywhere for that balloon. So I now found it. I was saying, thank God, let me even use this one too. Then we're taking a group like a family picture. Then my younger brother just started crying mommy because last ones are
Yeah,
always
I want the
my
balloon.
mommy just collected my balloon and gave him the balloon that I worked for. If that picture you see my face, I was like this. So he now heard it and he was smiling. So that picture is always because it reminds me of.
Your childhood.
Yes, I really
Wow.
like that picture so much.
So,
And although I lost that my younger brother in
wow,
2020,
that was so sad.
so anytime I look at that picture, I'm like, oh, pick up the balloon, come back, and all those things.
Okay,
But
yeah.
but yeah, I'm kind of over that now. So yeah,
Wow.
so that's
So
like
so
the memory.
you've really been through a lot, losing your dad and then going ahead to lose your only brother again.
Yes,
Wow, it's so saddening. But at least those are the kind of memories that when you look back on, you're actually grateful for it because you might not remember everything that happened, but you get to remember, stuff like that.
yeah. It was the culture shock because now she now remarried, like she married a Yoruba man that brought us to Lagos. So everything, like now, imagine me born in Port Harcourt, you grew up in Benin till like 8, from Benin, you now relocated to Lagos. Those are different. Like I mean, the advantage is that I'm like a blend of like the different parts. There was somebody that was telling me one time that I fit in, like I fit in and all. When I now on this my journey of becoming, I was not like asking myself like, why is it that I'm like that? It's because I've been to our families, like we've been, because it was just my mom. When she has to work, we have to go to maybe our uncle's house. We'll go there. We'll be there when they travel. We have to go to another person's house because she's working. She's not the one working until like she married. Then we now came to Lagos, Yoruba. We now had to start adjusting, learning
Again.
like their ways. Like our new dad, we had to start. So everything was just the journey was just like it was good, like because everything is what's like shaping me to be like unique and
Yeah.
different. Like, but yeah.
Hmm. So such a powerful and emotional story. But now when you look back at your story, all the way back and all the way to this point, what would you say you're most grateful for?
I'm grateful for the journey because without the journey, I would not be where I am now. Because from just like you said earlier about turning pain to purpose, it was all the bitterness, everything that I'm like, what's going on? Like, why? Because now it was not my choice. It was not my choice that my dad will
That's
go or my mom remarried or will move go to any place. It was not like my choice. So, but those choices that were made on my behalf, has caused me to now like, okay, what's the choice that should be made now? Because the past is good, but it's all about now and where you're going. That's what's important. But those journeys shaped me to like start asking questions that, okay, how can I do it differently? What can be done differently? How can I show up differently? So
wow. Oh, that's very nice. That's very nice. So what's next for you now, personally and musically?
yeah, so I'm actually like an interior designer. So I want to, you know, really focus on that, right? But music, I'm still gonna do music, and I have a project coming up like next year by the grace of God, and it's also gonna be a reflection of the things I've learned, my current state of mind, the fact that I'm saying like, okay, like there's this one of the songs is I know they find love anymore. I won't cater for myself. I cannot take it anymore. So that's like the direction now. So no love.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So yes.
Wow. So we'll
That's
be looking forward to that. We'll be looking forward because I know that your songs are really powerful and spiritual. So
yeah.
I can't wait to hear that. So
Yeah.
before I ask you the last question, is there any question you would have loved me to ask that I haven't asked, or is there any question you would love to answer?
No, you've done everything perfectly.
Okay, okay, thank you so much. So,
Yeah.
if someone is listening today now and feels now heartbroken, what is the one thing you want on your journey?
It's that it's normal. It's normal because that's what will propel you into like your higher self, like to propel you to your next level. So it's normal. Accept it, embrace it, and find out like what was not working. Why did I have this experience? Why did I go to this experience? And start learning, contending for greater light. Because that's what will give you an insight to who you should be and all. So yeah, I would just say embrace, accept, and it's normal. It's the process to becoming that higher version. So
So those are the final words for us: embrace, accept, and it's normal, to go
go
through that
through.
journey.
Yeah.
I think for me, the most important things I've learned from this conversation so far is that pain doesn't have to define us. Pain
Mm-hmm.
can refine us, and that love isn't really about finding someone, but it's about finding
Yourself.
ourselves
Yeah.
first. And if you have ever been broken, maybe you are not. I want you to realize that maybe you are not being broken. Maybe instead of being breaking apart, maybe you are being broken open like an egg about to release something new
Mm.
into the world. So thank you
It's a
so much for
preparation.
having this conversation. It has really
Thank you.
been very nice listening to you. So for our audience listening to you who would like to follow you on social media, how do they find you?
Okay, at Top Girl Peb on all streaming platforms.
Wow.
Like
Okay.
at Top
Um, I'll attach the handle to the description of this episode. So if you are trying to connect with her, if you have any questions for her, just find her on any social media or any streaming platform, and she'll readily answer your questions. And if you have not done so yet, please like, comment, subscribe, and just leave us a rating depending on where you're listening to this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah.